I know food is at the center of it because that was what God told me my purpose is. It's just like to reach people through food. I just don't know what that looks like. And I'm probably not supposed to know. Because if I did, who knows, you know?
Oh no. I don't get it. It's okay. We get it.
I was like, yes, Lord. Come on with the cancellations.
Ooh, we going in it. Now just kidding.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm black. Am I good?
He's with the best of them. And he's one of my favorite men to ever emphasize.
that interest sounds like much more than who I actually am.
My guest of honor is a flower power free spirit that has a permanent glow. She serves as a coordinator by day and vegan YouTuber, author, and anything food-related content creator by night. Some of her accomplishments include producing the Cooking Up Fresh Greens on a daily cookbook and landing partnerships with the North Texas Food Bank, Coppell Farmers Market, and MKE Fellows. She's been recognized by the Dallas Morning News for recipes and has made many guest appearances on various podcasts. Now she's gracing us with her presence. Today, my guest of honor is a fellow vegan by the name of Ashley Douglas, better known as Frobulous Veggies. How you doing?
That sounded real important right there.
You are important. We are somebody. You are somebody.
Like, y'all really selling it. Yes. Because I'll just be forgetting. Half of that stuff, I was like, girl, you're right. I did do that.
Sometimes you need to be reminded, it's okay. You know, let somebody else dig you up real quick. You did that.
Yes, I appreciate it. I'm so excited to be on the podcast. I love being on podcasts, like, honest to God. Like, I love it. I love talking.
I'm happy to have you. Like, I love having energetic people on that's like, this is what you do. So that's what's up.
I mean, and you've seen it. This is me at this, this is what you get. I don't know how to hide it. I really tried, to be that kid that paid attention in school, and I was always
doing everything.
Yeah.
Now it's paying off for you.
I don't know. I had cousins too, so who knows? I just was always the outgoing one.
And it's nothing wrong with that. You gotta let their light shine because the people who are kind of introverts need that.
Yeah.
I call myself a introvert with extrovert tendencies, so I get it. I can be on when I need to be on.
No, that's it. No, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. It's called being ambivert. There you go.
Oh, I learned something new today.
Yeah. So it's like you a little bit of both. You can be extroverted when you want to be, or you can just be introverted when you need to refuel and recharge. I'm kind of more like that the older I get. I'm like, it's cute. We could do a Saturday.
Be like, be there. Who's gonna be there?
Right. I socialize all day Saturday, but Sunday I'm in the house.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, speaking of being inside, tell me how the pandemic has been going for you because we all was stuck inside for a long time.
Yes. Honestly, I know this gonna sound so bad, but the pandemic, outside of because I experienced a lot of loss during the pandemic, unfortunately. So I had a lot of that. Outside of what bad things came with the pandemic, a lot of good things happened because you had to self-reflect. You had to kind of pivot. That was my main thing during the whole pandemic is you got to pivot. You got to figure out how to, one, do this whole blogging thing. Like before the pandemic, I was doing cooking demonstrations and, socializing with people. And I'm like, now I'm in the house.
Yep.
How do I do this? What is this thing called Zoom? I don't know her. Ashley, you should do Zoom class. I'm like, I don't even know how to navigate her. I know Skype. That's it. So it just really navigating that. It challenged me to teach myself to do different and new things. Like this whole YouTube thing, it was just because of the pandemic. Honestly, I don't think I ever would have actually took the leap to do it if it wasn't for the pandemic. And I love it. Like, I'm like, girl, what took you so long? Like you get to connect with so many people, even outside of just Instagram. You got your Instagram people, but YouTube is a whole nother level of interacting with people, but also it's like hosting your own TV show. It's great.
Because you
I
are.
love it.
You are definitely doing
Yeah.
that. You're producing it. You coming
Yeah,
up with the concepts. You
hello,
starring in it. Like, I mean, hey, all the acts, all of them.
bruh. Give me my writing credits.
You know, copyrights. Thank you. That is mine.
Yes, no, that's the real thing though. People don't realize that too. Like a lot of times you're your own person coming up with creative ideas, coming up with content, coming up with graphics, coming up like I'm the graphic designer. People don't know that. Like I design all the graphics. And I knew that stuff early on. I low key was like trying to do freelance graphic design and as a business. I had that as a background, but it was a little low key thing that I used to love to do. But just taking all these different things that you learn through life and just putting it all into one thing. That's what the pandemic did for me. It was taking all these different passions and putting it into one thing and focusing my energy on that because I had nothing else to do. So,
yeah.
And I was working from home, you know, that was a lovely thing. I love that. Oh God, I don't know what this life is going back into the office. I don't know what that is, but
like I don't want to go.
I was so sad. I told my manager that, like, she already knows, and she watches stuff. So, hey, girl, she knows. I'm like, I'm way more productive at home because I can focus. You focus more when it's just you. You have nobody else to focus on. It's just you.
They really need to think about making that a real thing. Just let everybody stay at home if they choose to stay at home. If I could do it for a whole year at home, that means I can do it forever at home.
Hello, and to us too. I was thinking about that. We were really at home for a solid year because we even kind of like they took it a little bit more seriously, and I was very much early on because of just the loss and stuff of family members. I was very much like I don't want to be near.
Yeah.
But I take this very seriously. So.
Yeah, and you should.
So,
You should.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel you on that. We lost a couple of people in our family as well, so I definitely am very serious about COVID-19.
Yes. Yes. But, this whole not wearing a mask thing, I'm very much still getting adjusted to it. Even though I'm vaccinated, you know, it's still an adjustment because it's like it's just you get used to a life, and now it's like trying to transition. The whole thing has been a transition. And I don't even think we know our new normal yet. Like we're all just still trying to figure it out. But I mean, hey, at this point we gotta roll with it. I think that's another like thing from the pandemic. You gotta roll with it, honey, because life is here.
and you know that is I always say the cheat code or the magic key for life. Just know how to adjust and be able to roll with punches because at the end of the day, you know, stuff gonna keep coming up. So you're just not gonna be able to stop it. Things are gonna happen, but you choose to respond or react to whatever is happening. So I think that it's good that you found a way to like merge all of your gifts together, or well, the gifts that you know about, because there's still some you haven't discovered yet. But merge your gifts together and grow something. I think it's dope, and it's something that people really need. People really, really need information on this vegan life. So I want you to give me a little background of like how you became vegan, why you became vegan. Just give me a little your background story.
Okay, so I tell this story to everybody. Not like it's legit the truth, and I feel bad. I wish it was a deeper story than this, but but oh Lord. Okay, so the church, right? You know how you fast every year, church. You know. Baptist church, you fast. So one year they were like, no red meat, no, chicken or nothing. You Daniel fast, whatever, and it's nothing but veggies, right? I was like, all right, good, I can do this. I can do this. So it was literally keeping that as a personal challenge. Because I did it, I was like, ooh, this is easy. Like, let's see how long I could keep this going. It was literally that. It was just personal challenge. How long can I keep it going? And I kept it going with just being vegetarian for, well, now at this point, I can't say 7 years. I probably need to start saying like 7-ish, 8 years. I've been vegan throughout this entire pandemic. So it's officially been a year of me being vegan.
Yeah.
Thank you. I to post that or something like
you do. Yes.
I don't be knowing dates like that. Like
You know, a
I know
roundabout.
the roundabout.
Yeah.
I know the roundabout. It was around this time, but yeah, I really did it as a personal challenge. I even in college, because that's when it all happened. Was college was like, all right, I'm gonna stop doing the bacon, even though bacon was my favorite. Bacon, I love crab legs, chicken nuggets. Those three was it. But I was like, let me start to slowly but surely do it. And yeah, you know, I started off not like out the gate, drop everything. I did it with the fast, but I let go of the red meat first. I let go of turkey. Then I let go of you know, just only doing seafood. I was pescatarian. Then I went into vegetarianism. And that's like a point I like to give to people, because it's like, you will shock the mess out of your body and you will be craving it. And that's why a lot of people don't last being vegan.
Yeah.
You jump into it and you're like, all right, bet I'm gonna do this. No. The best thing you can do for yourself, because then you get all deprived, you get angry, you get mad, you get all deprived, like, because your body's not used to it. So you have to kind of ease yourself into it. Otherwise, it turns into a fad. And a fad is, it changes. You're done with it. You're like, well, I did it for a thing. And you move on, you know?
Yeah. It's definitely a lifestyle. Yeah. It's definitely a lifestyle. And, you know, I think a lot of people, they're kind of afraid to try because they think everything is like eating grass. And I'm like, y'all, I'm telling you, being vegan, like, look, I'm vegan and it's stuff you eat that you should, like, it's still stuff that you shouldn't eat when you vegan. Like, you can gain weight being vegan because of the carb intake. But I do believe that you just need to know your personality. Like, if you're a personality that needs to gradually do it do what works best for you.
Yes, because that was me. Because I know I be hangry now. And I be having to tell, but it's not like I'm hangry, like, you know, oh, I really want a crab leg. But it's like, you know, your body, you know, if you be craving certain things, if you're a person like that, you gotta know that about yourself. So if you know that it's gonna shock your body if you say no fast food altogether, I mean, you just gotta know that about yourself. But it's true, because I got caught up early, was gaining so much weight being vegetarian. I'm like, how? I worked out 5 times a day. Like, I worked out 5 days a week for an hour. 5 days a week for an hour. And I was gaining weight. And I'm like, and that ain't even muscle. It wasn't even muscle. I said, what's going on, doctor? And he said, all those preservatives and those like Amy's frozen stuff, because I would eat that for lunch. And then, you know, I would eat just nothing but like processed foods, you know. Yeah. I just kept eating processed foods. And he was like, that's the issue. You eat all this processed foods. That's why you're gaining weight. So to your point, yes, like you have to know the difference of what types of food to eat. And once I figured that out, I was like, bet now it ain't grass, because I like salad, but I don't like salad like that. You know, I ain't like the people that eat these green bowls. Like, it's cute. It look cute for a day. You know, that's cute for a day, but not every day. You know,
right? You gotta throw a little something in there. Throw a little something.
I can't do that.
Pizzazz that up or something, because
that lentil stuff. I'm sorry, and I really try. Like, somebody else can make lentils, you know, it's cool and all, but like, nah, that ain't what I'm cooking. You know, I have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. You gotta know what you like to eat. And every meal doesn't have to look like, you know, bland.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. You gotta like what you're cooking. You gotta like what it looks like. And it has to be familiar.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're not gonna eat it.
This is true. And that's why I'm so glad that you created a resource for everyone. So tell us a little bit about your book. Tell us a little bit about
my
book.
Cooking up fresh greens on a daily. Look, I low-key have like one of my little copies
yes,
here.
ma'am. Show it. Yes. Hey,
but just, you know, just a few things. just a few things of what you can eat on a regular. Look at that. Look at that.
That's beautiful. Show that cover. No, you gotta show the cover too.
Okay. You know, this is my cover. This is my little copy. But yes. This face, this glorious face, again, was my own stylist and things like that. Food stylist, you know, set prop everything. But But no, the goal of that cookbook honestly was because I had a lot of friends that were like, "Hey, Ashley, what should I cook? What do you eat every day? Like, what is it that you eat every day?" And I was like, let me just take all of my yummy recipes that I make for friends or I eat on a regular, put it in a cookbook, and this way you'll have it accessible. And it's easy. I like to do like 30-minute to an hour recipes, right? Because you're working, you're moving, you don't have time. So this was more of that for the working people, working families. Even families can do it. I have a few of them where I specifically like touch to that, like the kiddos can help make this kind of stuff because it's safe enough where they won't burn themselves or. So, excuse me, it goes from brunch, and then you have like sides, then you have the main, and then you have appetizers and things like that too. So I'm covering all the bases. Now, no desserts, but who knows? That might be in the future.
Coming soon.
Coming soon, because everybody keeps asking me about that too. And I'm like, okay, girl, I'm gonna get on it.
let me work on it. Just wait on it.
Different ball game. I'm used to using dairy and, so I'm learning. I mean, I did just do a cupcake recipe, and I must say, it hit. It was really good. So I think right now we're down.
I think that's dope because, people really think that they can't have sweets. And I'm like, bro, there's so many vegan sweets and they actually taste really good. Like there's some cookies, some oatmeal cookies. Look, once you master that oatmeal cookie, let me know. Oatmeal raisins.
Okay,
I'm about
I got
that
you.
life. I'm about that life.
Let me write that down. I'm gonna have to write that down for real. I'm taking suggestions, a suggestion box. If y'all want to just put it in there on my Instagram, let me know, send me a DM. I have friends that do that too. They be like, they'll send me something and be like, can you like do a recipe like that? So I'm all for it.
That's what's up. Tell me how your family reacted when you told them, like, all right, when they watched you progress, because they watched you progress.
Oh, I think my mom always knew. My mom always knew I was probably gonna end up eating like this because I didn't eat a lot of meat, and it would frustrate her. She would buy this. I just remember sometimes being like, a teenager, and she'll like make all this food, and all I would eat was really the size and like one little piece of meat. And she's like, "Girl, I done cooked all this meat, and it's like eating." And I'm like, yeah, I'm not really a fan, like it's all right. I don't need that much. So for her, I think she foresaw that. I mean, the crab legs thing, seafood now, that part, she was very much like, wow, you're letting that go. I've been cracking crab legs since I was 12. But, she understood it. She always knew I would do something. I'm always just a random kid. She knew something. But my granddad was one who I think was just like, well, what do you eat? And like, how you eating? Ain't you hungry? Do you want some eggs? Like, do you want?
Oh, Papa.
And I'm like, no, I'm good, Papa. I can't eat eggs. Still to this day, he still has little moments, like, well, what about? I don't do butter. Remember, we gotta do the different butter, But I'll have him convinced. I had him in a few videos, and now he sends me special requests to bring certain burgers and stuff.
Yes, Grandpa.
But him, he just didn't understand it. He like, well, why? What you gonna get protein from? And I'm like, it's a lot of things with protein, Papa.
Yeah.
So
them cows get all their protein. They get lots of protein. They big too.
Ooh, too much. I had got blood work done because I always, been borderline anemic. So I always get my iron checked out every so often. And the lady was like, "Are you eating like steak?" And I was like, "Steak? Oh no, I don't eat steak. I'm vegan." They were like, "Well, your iron levels are really high." I was like, "Well, I don't see how that's possible." And I was just telling her all the things I was eating. And she was like, "Oh, well, that's high in iron." Then that all makes sense. I'm like, well, there you go. I'm getting iron, getting protein. Papa, I'm good. I have the record right here.
That blood work tells everything. That blood tells everything. Yes.
All the truth.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask you about your college experience because I mean, we have a lot of youth that watch this podcast or listen to this podcast. So I wanted to ask you about your journey through college and where you went and all of those different things.
Okay, so shout out to Alabama A&M University.
Hey.
Go Bulldogs. We just had our homecoming. I wasn't there this year, but I'm be there next year though. 10-year next year.
Wow.
I know, I feel old every time.
Don't feel old. Look, as long as you look like you look, you looking like you look, and you can be as old as you need to be. It don't matter.
Okay, be vegan. You can look like this. Okay.
Forever.
But no, college, you know what? It was completely different because I went on the other side of the map. You know, I'm not from the South. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So it was a big deal for all of us to like experience Black colleges. And, you know, like we did the college tour. We like, all right, bet we're going to be around these Black people. We got to do it. It's like what Black people do. So I don't know if that's the same. I want to ask that too, side note later. If that's the same experience for people who are raised in the South, like, is it that heavy? Because, like, back home, it was like, nah, you got to go to a Black college. Or you can just go to a state school. But you Black, you go down South, and you do that. So, got my full ride. Kids, get them grades, honey, so you can get a full ride to school.
Even better.
Hello. Okay, because my mom was like, look, honey, you're going to have to pitch in. You're going to have to pitch in.
Gotta pitch in.
She like, we can only do so much, baby. So let's get these scholarships.
Yeah.
And went there. And honestly, you know, I think everybody who's been to a HBCU, we all have that same universal issue of like, you know, the financial aid things and the, you know, but what I love so much about being at A&M was the community. Like, it's just nothing like it. Like the HBCU experience is so dope. It's like having a forever family. People you'll never know. You probably didn't even know while you were on campus. You run into them and it's like family, you know, at any point in time, no matter what city I'm in, people will see my plates. They'll be like, hey, come on. You know, it's just, I love it and appreciate it now. You know, when you on the struggle bus, you know, you just trying to make grades meet. During school, you know, you working. I was working jobs and interning. So a lot of times I was like really focused, but you really appreciate the experience of like those special memories and those forever friends that you meet. I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll change it. I grew up so much. Like, you can't tell me nothing, you know? You learn how to really get it and do what you got to do, you know?
Yeah. Look, to answer your question though, I feel like it's the reverse. Like, well, I was the first person in my family to ever go to college. So, my mom, my mom was just like, I just want you to choose a school that works for you. And like, my biggest regret is not going to Clark Atlanta. Because I wanted to go to Clark. Got accepted. But financially, I could not pay that out of state cost. It was just like, I'm barely able to pay for this and I couldn't afford to go. So I bounced around a lot, but I ended up graduating from UT Arlington. But what I will say is down here in high school, I feel like they kind of push the PWIs more than HBCUs. I think it's by design because they know that if you go to a HBCU, you're going to discover yourself and see yourself in so many people. I always say that the HBCUs like provide soul value. That's what I tell my students. Yeah. Go to a HBCU because you're going to get more than just athletic scholarship. You're going to get soul value. And that's what I regretted to this day. But I was like, you know, that PhD, I could still go to HBCU.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and get that.
They're still always accepting.
Yes.
You know, they do online as well.
She's going to recruit me. She'll recruit me right now.
You know, listen, I thought about it. I mean, even after I graduated, I'm ready to go, to be honest. I was like, I ain't trying to owe no more money. I'm ready to go, you know. Yeah. But I thought about that. I thought about going back and getting my master's from there. But I fully agree. I want to go back to that like soul value piece that you said. It's so true because even my professor, it's like I hadn't even had professors that really wanted to see you win so much. Like I've had so many, but like, well, a couple of them have since passed, unfortunately, but they really truly saw something in you and wanted so much greatness for you and like root for you and speak of you in different rooms and, you know, elevate you. And I'm like, wow, they really love you. Like they really do care and they want the best for you. And I think from what I hear, you know, because my mom, she did more of the state school route, you know, PWI, Wisconsin, you know, and she was like, she didn't get that same thing. And she kind of regretted that too. She said she wished she would have gone to HBCU because she sees that I experienced so much, you know, when she would visit and she would see how it was. She's like, oh man, like I wish I would have had that. And it's true, you know, but it's kind of like also a little bit of a catch-22, you know, for us at HBCUs. I think sometimes we wish we had certain things that state schools had as far as like funding, you know, things like that, accessibility in that sense. Because I feel like they prepare you HBCU wise, Black people, how to really have to fight and push through corporate America and things like that from the perspective of a Black person. Like they push that a lot, which I appreciate. But I think sometimes access is a little bit easier when you go to a PWI if you have that piece behind you. Like if I would have went to UW-Madison, I think the access would have been a little bit easier because I have the UW-Madison.
Yeah.
Which,
it's true.
catch-22.
It's crazy. It's just like you got to make the best of wherever you go. Like I was lucky enough to be at a school that was like, I call it the International School of Students because there were so many different types of people. I really don't look at it like a PWI because it was like you got Middle Eastern people, you got everybody. So that's the beautiful part about going to school, just in general, to be exposed to all those different people.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to y'all campus because I used to work out there, that way, and it's beautiful. It's so nice. I love the Starbucks out there. It's great.
The Starbucks.
It's nice out there, but I did want to say though, I think it's interesting. You were going to go to Clark. I was going to go to Clark Atlanta.
Oh.
And I was going to go on a fashion scholarship.
Wow.
And I just last minute decided not to do it because I wanted to do a double major. And some of my things transferred over to A&M better. So I wanted to throw that out like, girl, I was almost there with you.
You know, we were going to be out there. Like, look.
We was gonna
be out there. One of my students,
the full slap. When I was on the tour,
we probably wouldn't have been vegan there.
Nah, I would not. I was not vegan in college, baby.
Me neither.
I was eating all the things.
All of it.
Who gonna pass it up?
Man,
all that barbecue.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. Look, when I went vegan, I was like, when I told God, I was like, I don't want to go vegan. I love barbecue. Like, I'm from Texas. What do you mean go vegan? Best decision.
Now, I know that's hard for y'all. I know that's hard for y'all because moving here, I'm like, if it ain't a brisket, if it ain't ribs, baby, pulled pork sandwiches. I'm like, that is really Texas. And I feel that for y'all. I feel y'all. Them steaks, them steaks.
Yeah.
And you gotta do it right. And you gotta do it right. Because I done seen it. They ain't do it right. It's like you're getting talked about.
Take it back, please. Take it back.
That ain't it.
So if you don't mind me asking, what was your major at A&T?
Okay. I was a marketing major.
Makes sense. Look, it's coming full circle.
Almost was an accounting major. I'm gonna throw that out there because I was always good with numbers and finance and all of that. So my professors wanted me to do accounting. I said no, it was boring. And looking at it, I could use that accounting money. Right about now. Also, I was good at IT. So I used to tutor management information systems. You know, boring, right? But again, missed opportunity on the money. I should have listened to my professor, you know.
Well, look,
I was, tutoring anyway. He like, you tutor anyway, like just do it. And I'm like, nah, it's boring, Look at me now. But no, marketing is cool. Marketing is cool. Let me not talk about it.
the thing about that though is once you get everything going the way you want it to go, you can make that salary in a month. So you didn't miss an opportunity. You got exposure. So it is what
Like,
it is. But you can literally make what they make in a month, depending on what's going on. So
that is true. That is true. You know, I always say everything happens for a reason and everything is aligned purposely how it's supposed to flow. So
absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
I was in different jobs. I promise you my job trajectory, if you look at the levels and areas I was in, you would never think I would be where I am now, you know?
Yeah. It be like that sometimes. Like God will let you like drop down in certain spaces just to get you whatever you need to get. And then he'll teleport you right on up out of there. And know where you're supposed
Yes.
to go next. So with you being around so many different people at those jobs, I'm sure you kind of developed like your non-negotiables when it comes to interacting with people. So can you tell me like what your 5 non-negotiables are when it comes to dealing with people, friendships, and relationships?
Oh, child. Thank God for therapy and self-reflection. I'm a big advocate for therapy only so you can have self-awareness of who you are and how to be a better human.
Yeah.
So I strongly advocate people should do therapy for that. Because I now know that number one, you have to set boundaries.
Yeah.
You have to set boundaries. And I didn't always do that at work because I always felt I couldn't, because you either feel like, oh, I can't because I might lose my job, or like I might make my manager mad, or da da da. No, you have to, because you have to live.
Mm-hmm.
You have to live your life. You have to say at 5 o'clock I'm logging off. You know, you have to. Just so you can have your sanity. So that honestly is number one, is the boundaries. Like you have to respect the boundary. For me, I will do everything in my capacity in the time frame I have, but you have to respect my boundary. That's number one. Number two, set your preferences early as far as communication. So for me, I might say email might be a better way to communicate, or pinging on the computer. Phone calls is literally the last resort for me unless you really have to talk.
I don't want to talk to you.
I don't like talking like that. I mean, I like talking to people I like.
Yeah.
You know, I like talking to people, you know, even like my manager and things. I like to talk about fun stuff, but I don't always like to talk about work stuff, you know? So just line it up for me in the email so that I know what I need to tackle, But obviously you have to respect other people's forms of communication. So for me, it's just respecting that communication forms. Ooh, it's hard to do 5 because boundaries cover so much.
If you don't have 5, it's okay. If you don't have 5, it's okay.
It's just, but mostly that, and then just knowing your limitations, what your capacity is. Like for me, if I'm at capacity, don't go over my capacity. Like you have to just be respectful of that, like, and communicating that to your managers. And of course, you know, this is also speaking from a person who's an overachiever, who works really hard, whose managers knows that I will go over and beyond. So you have to set that precedence with people, right? So when you do speak up, they know it must be for a reason.
Yeah.
So just doing that, all of these things, you have to have that good reputation of, you know, she's a team player, she handles her business, she goes over and beyond to get the job and duties done. I think in that then grants you these ways of being able to set these precedents, like, these are my non-negotiables. I think that would be the best thing, but also too, advocating for salary is not a bad thing, you know?
Yeah.
I've always been that person, like, look, if this no longer serves me and I'm doing all of these things over and beyond, advocate for your salary. Or move to another position.
I'm gonna need them coins. Yeah.
Run me. Okay? Like, I no longer focus on money like I used to when I was younger. I was very money focused when I was younger, and that becomes unhealthy, right? You shouldn't be thinking about your dollars every hour on the hour. It should not be that. In commission sales, you do that, and it's unhealthy to me personally. I don't like that. But you should be compensated fairly for what you do. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, I think you definitely should be compensated, and they wrote the job description. So if you do what's in the job description, they cannot be upset about what you're asking for. So
And if
especially
you
if you
go
have comp.
outside the scope, if you go
Mhm.
outside the scope of your duties and you're doing over beyond those said duties, then absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, honey.
See, all of these experiences, I'm sure, helped you with you gaining these partnerships that you have now and like managing those. So, can you tell us a little bit about your partnerships that we discussed earlier?
Yes. And you know what? I'm gonna let everybody in on a little secret. A lot of these partnerships were literally not even that, 99% was just God dropping them on my doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been one partnership where I was legit like really gunning for it. But like all of these opportunities were just God sent things that he divinely set up, where you meet a person that then speaks about you in spaces you didn't even know about, and they connect you with this person, and that's how that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the North Texas Food Bank thing, it's funny we talk about that now. Excuse me, I volunteered for
Mm-hmm.
years, just as a volunteer. And I don't know how it came about, but they found my page. Like, oh, you cook? Oh, you do YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
And then boom. Now I'm partnering with them with their homegrown series that they had this year. And I still have a good relationship with or I'm not gonna give names, but with
Yeah,
the community,
don't give
social
names.
media person. Yeah, I was just talking to her about another thing, potentially, and that's one thing too. I do want to always share with even college students, adults. Always make sure to be your best version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be respectful, be considerate. Unless it's something where it just truly isn't a good situation. Always handle things with grace, because in a sense of poise, right? Because you just never know when those situations may come back. And they may come back and may ask you to do another opportunity. Maybe that didn't work out, but this will be a better fit for you. And because you handled yourself with such a good rapport and just a positive attitude and things like that, people respect that and they love that. And just be genuine. Be a genuine, good person. That's honestly what I try to do. And I think that's where God kind of he just aligns stuff. I promise you.
I'm glad you said that.
Focus on me. Yeah, you just gotta focus on what you do. And God will tell you that too. If he don't tell you that, he'll start doing it by removing things from you.
Yeah.
To focus on what you need to focus on. And in the midst of that focus and you not getting why you only can do this one thing, he's setting things up all amidst around you. You don't see it, and the next thing you know, boom, opportunity.
Yeah. And the question is, were you working on your craft in obscurity while he was preparing? Because when you come out of it, you're gonna want to be ready. Like,
come on,
to gather all those opportunities. I'm very
you better
glad that
say
you
a
said
sermon
that.
today. You better, but that is a word. And I'm happy that you said that, because that is true. And a lot of times it's like, I have to now think like, all right, bet. So when God, let me say that again.
Yeah,
when God blesses me to be on Food Network, what is it that you've been doing to prepare yourself for Food Network?
Mm-hmm.
Right? All this YouTube stuff, every episode I treat it as if I'm on Food Network. So that way when I get there, you're already there. You're
Mm-hmm.
ready for it. You're ready for these things. When you do live events, when you do interviews, that is God preparing you for what you're trying to work towards, So
yeah,
I think that's great. You have to do that. Be willing to learn. Be open to you not getting your way.
Yep. A lot of times.
Ooh,
I don't want my way anyway. I want it his way, because my way is not even good enough. So I would rather have his way.
And even if you think it's good enough, it's better. His way is better.
Always better.
I had to learn that too. I'm like, but God, like, I could do this right now. Like, I'm there. I'm ready for it. And he like, girl, you don't even know what You don't even know what job you want to do. You already plotting and you planning to go over here and elevate here. Like you're not even stable enough to even think this through in your own thought and mindset. Like it's very amazing. I mean, I know he laughs at me often. Like, girl,
yes,
that's
girl, calm
crazy.
down, calm down, girl. I got you, but calm down. Simmer down. No, so tell me what role spirituality plays in your life. Like, what role does God play in your life?
God, okay, this is a funny joke. I showed this to my teammates. Literally have at 1:00 p.m. where it's time to pray. Like it's a reminder from the daily Bible, like to pray. So I wake up. I don't start my day until I pray.
Yeah.
Do a scripture. Because I have to instill in myself, like, you have to start your day with God.
Yes.
Everything else can wait. You got to start your day with God. And be more intentional about it, too. You know, so I joke that I have this, me and God got a different relationship. I don't know about y'all, God.
Yeah.
But me and my God, we be talking. I talk to him like a conversation like this. I'll just sit and be like, you know what? Okay, God, like, let me breathe. Okay, let me be quiet before I say something I don't need to say. Like, I really do talk to God to help me through situations. And I promise you, it's amazing how he shifts things. Like, I don't do anything major in my life without praying about it. I have to get clearance from God. Because if he don't clear it, or if it's unclear, then I feel like it's a setup. Then I feel like, I don't know about it. It ain't plain. When it just feels effortless and just plain, like, it's God. But if it's confusion and things, then you don't need to move on it. Maybe I need to sit for a minute. And I promise you, each time he's like, he's right. It's like, girl, see, that would have been a mess.
A hot
you would have been real pissed.
a hot mess, because God definitely does not work in confusion. Like, I mean, he doesn't communicate confusion to you. So it's definitely true that he will lay it out. It's gonna look clear for a second. You better go. Like, when he tell you to go, just move.
Right.
Because you don't want to miss it. But he has the ability to bring it back around, but you don't want to have to miss the opportunity, because you want to do what you want to do.
And he will bring it around. You are right. Because he slapped me in the face with this whole thing of doing this cooking thing, because I refused it.
Yeah.
It was years before I even cooked for anybody, like a cooking demo. It was years. And people kept asking, like, Ashley, you should do recipes. Ashley, girl, I ain't no cook. Like, I'm a cook, but I'm not in front of people, put myself out there I'm still like that now to this day. I work through my imposter syndrome of, accepting that I'm at this great level of whatever, because I still think I'm just I'm just Ashley, but Ashley has things that she is that makes her who she is. And I think it's just the mindset of just not trying to get lost in all of that, right? Because at the end of the day, you're still a human. But I also have to talk my talk on certain things. But God will always bring around time and time again what you're meant for, what your purpose is. So, you might miss it, but he gonna slap you again with it. Like, girl, okay. Yeah. Now, it's here. What you gonna do with it?
What you gonna do with it? I love the fact that you said that you had to like really choose to be a part of it, or like you kind of like pushed it away, because a lot of times your gifts are staring you right in your face, or your purpose, and a lot of people push it away because they don't want the responsibility of handling it. So it's amazing. I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people know what their gifts are. They just don't. I don't want to deal with that. Oh no, I can't do that. So I want people to realize that thing that keeps nagging you is it. Like, just do it. The thing that's nagging
and the thing that's stopping them is fear. Yeah. Right? It's fear of failure. Like a good amount of what I don't want to do all this, and I don't want to do it. I didn't want to do YouTube because I was scared it was gonna fail. Yeah. I was scared I was gonna look stupid. I was scared. A lot of times you hear that voice in your head of, like, what do they call it? Like that voice of doubt, like doubt that's that you have, and you hear it and you're like, girl, you ain't gonna make it. But it's just fear. And the thing is, I had to learn everybody is just trying to figure it out. Yeah. Nobody has it figured out. Yeah. It may look like it. They trying to figure it out, or they have a team helping them to figure it out. It's not just them. So you have to know, like, in your greatness, you're doing this on your own, figuring it out. It's
Yep.
people who pay teams to figure it out.
For
So,
them.
hello.
Yeah.
You
It's
know, if we
about
were
trying.
rich,
Look, I wouldn't even want to do it that way though, to be honest with you. I would much rather
yeah,
try to figure it out because I'm a person that wants to know the ins and outs. Even if I'm not actively doing it, I need to know how it
yeah,
works so I can be able to check in like, hey, is that getting, hey, what y'all doing? Because you still need to check on your
yeah,
stuff. Like, even when
yeah.
you make it to that level, you still need to be actively a part of your process because that's how things happen. You know, that's how stuff get missed and you
Hello.
look up and your whole bank account empty, you know?
And I don't
So
play about my money. I
no.
don't play about my money. Okay, so that the accountant that I eventually will get will be tired of me because
Yeah.
I'm that girl. I look at my accounts. Again, I had the accounting background, so I'm looking at accounts like, this ain't sitting right, you know. But to that, yeah, to your point, yes, absolutely. Like, but that's a true epitome of what a boss is. A true
Mhm.
boss is never too great to still be in the weeds with everybody else. And
Yeah.
I think that's great because then the people that you're leading, they see that. They see
Mhm.
like, wow, they're not even too great. They're here with me on this journey.
Yeah. That empowers your people. And that's what it's all
Yeah.
about. I don't even want when I get a team, I don't even want them to be with me forever. It's like you
Yeah.
got like an incubator. We're gonna work it out. What
Yes.
do you want to do? And then I'm gonna push you out. Like you gotta go on out and do your thing because you're not meant to just be here with me. This is a path,
No.
like it's a stepping stone. So just do that and go. That's how I look
And
at it.
setting them up and
Yep,
setting them up to do those things. I think that's
exactly.
the missed opportunity that I see quite often with people, you know. I manage a little bit. I don't like managing personally because I feel like it's too much constraints
It
from
is.
higher
Yeah.
up powers that be. But I love helping people, and I always
Hmm.
love that about managing. Like, what can I do as a manager to help support you to be the greatness that you need to be? Even if it's like projects. Okay, you want to do this. Okay, let's do it then. Show me what you would do to then do this, you know, and give that opportunity. Because a lot of times people just need the opportunity and support.
Yep. Would you say
And
that's how?
I love that.
Yeah. Would you say that's how you approach your show on YouTube? Like you're approaching it in the sense of like, I just want to help you be a better you. So this is what I do, but you can implement it in your life.
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, like with recipes, with my show, even my Test Tuesdays, right?
Hmm.
My whole point of Test Tuesday is simply just to like, I know y'all be looking at these products when y'all be in the stores.
Right.
Let me help you. Like, that is my catchphrase. Like, why spend the money? Why spend the money if you don't have to? I'll do it for you. Like, let me
Hmm.
help you with that. Let you know what I think personally how it tastes. Let you see what it looked like because a lot of people don't know what it looked like. You see it, but what does it look like? Like, what does it look like when it's cooked? You know, I like to one save people money,
Hmm.
number one, but also help people because I didn't have that starting out being
Right.
vegetarian. Like, they had cookbooks. I had a boss that gave me cookbooks, but I was like, these aren't my type of recipes, right? I loved her to death, love Anne, she's sweet. But it was nothing for me, as a black person, nothing.
Right. That
So
part.
I'm learning as I go. I'm trying to figure it out. You know, none of my family members are vegan or they don't know what that means. So I wanted to just help people to make this an easier process, like
Yeah.
transition. This is what I did. You can choose whatever you need to do it, but here's what I do. Here's what I like. I'm gonna try some products so y'all don't have to. And yeah, it's not horrible. It's not daunting to be
It's
vegan.
not.
It may
It's
look
really
that way,
easy.
but it's not.
It's about preparation. You just need to make sure. Well, for me, I have to prep my food early so I won't get hangry,
Mhm.
you know? So everything is pretty, ready to go. I can go in there and pull it out and just eat because if I have to
Yes.
cook it at that time, I'm not going to be happy about it. So my time is too regimented for me to be like, oh, let me cook this now. I can cook it on Sunday, you know,
Right.
and have it ready to go. That's what we do.
And what did we say? You got to know yourself.
Yeah.
You got to know what you need to do. And I used to do it. I used to do meal preps for people for that very same reason. Like, they were like, look, I gotta have these meals ready to go, prepped for
Hmm.
me. Like, can you just do some for me? That
Yeah.
sort of thing. I used to do that, but I think maybe cooking meal preps just maybe burn me out. And
Yeah.
working from home is so convenient, when I used to work from home.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, just make me something, all leisurely. But now that I'm back in the office, yeah, I'm gonna have to go back into that because yeah, it's a struggle to have to think. Who wants to think all the time?
I don't want to think. Once I shut it off, I shut it off. But you mentioned that you would like to be on the Food Network. Are there any other major goals that you want to just put on out there real quick? And we're gonna put it out
From
there. And
your
we'll
lips to God's ears,
yes,
For that, I always tell my friends that, it's from your lips to God's ears, girl. May it land up there. Like I mean, really, truly being on Food Network or the cooking channel, just because as a kid I used to watch that all the time, and I would always like Ina Gardner and Nigella and oh my goodness, Sunny Anderson is
yeah,
like my favorite person
yeah.
ever. And she, oh my gosh, she responded to one of my my like comments under her post. Like I did a post or whatever. She actually responded, and I
I
died.
love
I
it.
screenshot it. So one day I just want to do that. I want to be able to do an episode with her. That would literally make my life so God. That would just really be great. But outside of like being on TV and honestly just hosting and things like that, I eventually want to get to a point where I could just really help communities like back home here, like really make an impact in the community. Whether I
Yeah.
don't know where that lands, because I feel like my heart be so big sometimes that I just don't be knowing. Like I wanna focus on the gardening piece and like doing that sort of thing. Because my family has a garden and like that's what we
Mm-hmm.
do, and really emphasizing fresh food and how to grow it right. And I want to do that. But then I also want to do like teaching the kids in schools. Like I did that a couple of times where I spoke for the kids and like showed them what veganism is. And like, I love that. I love doing that. And I'm just, it's so many things. And I think sometimes I have that conversation with God. Like I feel like my heart is so big that sometimes I don't know how to focus it all on just one thing. So
Yeah, I feel that.
yeah, so I cook for the high schoolers with the MKE Fellows. Like those are young men who are high school to early college, and helping them to know how to cook better while in
Yeah.
college. And so it's so many outlets of like wanting to help the community and help families. Even with North Texas Food Bank, I love that you can even do classes for families and showing them how to eat healthy. I know food is at the center of it because that was what God told me my purpose is. It's just
Yeah.
like to reach people through food. I just don't know what that looks like. And I'm probably not supposed to know.
Yeah.
Because if I did, who knows,
You'll know that. You'll know the how in due time. Like he may be
Yeah.
compartmentalizing it for you. Like you focus on this, and then he'll elevate you to that point. All right, bless you with a team to help you do all of these things.
Yeah.
We got to put it out there because I know you'll be able to do it well. God will make sure that it gets
Thank
handled.
you.
He'll make sure it gets
Hold me
handled.
accountable.
Look, I'll be like, and then I'm a life coach too. Be like, you said.
Now I remember on the podcast when you said, so what steps are you taking to get to that?
Right.
Because I promise you, between my therapist and my friends, honey, this cookbook, when I tell you they were like,
yes,
ma'am, we've been talking about this cookbook. You have a whole wall full of recipes. Why are you not doing things with it? When is this coming out?
yeah.
I got people now talking about, so when the second one? I'm like,
Hold on, let it simmer. We gotta let this breathe a
so
little
please
bit.
hold me accountable. Please hold me accountable because I get to a point where I'm just so focused on the content that I'm not even thinking about all this other stuff.
Yeah. I can agree with you, and I feel that way at times too, so I can relate. But I want to ask
Yes.
you. So, what is your definition of success and happiness?
Ooh, you gave me a real one that I have to really, because I play around with that one all the time. Because sometimes I think success can be just accomplishing all of your goals that you set for yourself, right? That should be what success is. Success should be that you're still in the game.
Yeah.
you haven't gave up and you're still there. People still recognize who you are. You still, you know, you're still making an impact. So that should be success.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, you see as a business owner the financial side of it, and I struggle with that too. Like, yeah, but I think financially I should be a little bit up here. So
Yeah.
is that success? You know, so sometimes I'm teetering between it, but I try to focus on the fact of you're making an impact, and that's what success should be. You're touching so many lives, so many people you don't even realize. Like, I'll randomly get DMs or even just messages on YouTube of people that said, hey, I've been watching you for a couple of weeks now, and I finally decided to subscribe. Like, I really love your show. You bring so much great energy. Like, you really make my day. And then I'm like, girl, this is success. That is what this is all about. So I like to act like I don't always think, you know, money is always a thing, right? It's a capitalist world. So money is always in the back of your mind. But what your heart and your real mindset should focus on is, are you making an impact, and are you making this world like a better place? Because my ultimate goal in life is when I leave this earth, I want it to be like, yo, Ashley was here and she touched a lot of people. Yeah. That's how you should leave and have success. It shouldn't be like when you die, like nobody cares because you weren't a good person. You should try to be a good person and impact people in the most positive way, that it changes themselves to be better people too. Yep. And that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. My last question for you is, if you knew then what you know now, would you change anything? She's I'm like, oh, because you say these real ones for the end, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Look, I had to fix my fro. Okay. You know what? I always say no. I always say no to this question. Because, yeah, it sounds good. Like, if I knew then when I was 18, I would have been on that YouTube like I thought I was going to do. Girl, no. Because you weren't ready for what comes with all those things. Everything in my life, I promise, was a stepping stone to get me to where I am now. Yeah. So no, I feel like, especially being, honey, when you single too in these streets, you're like, girl, I could have been married, We think so. You're like, nah, I didn't want Jerry anyway. Right. Girl, could you have made that work? No. Because look at who you are now. Even as simple as like the woman and the things that I went through last year, look at how better of a human I am now because of even all the things I did last year. I'm more better off now because of that. So, I mean, I think things happen because they help shape you into being a person you are. A lot of times, I hate to say it, but sometimes you're a testimony to people. Yeah. You don't like it, but you are. God uses you to be relatable to people, because if you haven't been through things, it was a sermon I heard that from. Like, if you haven't been through things in life, well, how are people gonna be able to relate to you? Yeah. So that's a thing. But I wouldn't change it because I think I have a really dope circle, and I have a really dope just outlook on life right now. I'm in a place where I'm like, yo, I like it here. Yeah. I don't know, but 30s hit different. Yeah, look, 30s hit different. And I'm glad that you were honest about that answer, because the reason I ask it is because we have so many younger kids that feel like, why is stuff not getting better? Like, they're so focused on everything that's hitting them, but they're not realizing that it's shaping them and like giving them character, right? So I always end with that question because I want them to know that you weren't always this Ashley, No. So it takes progression, to get to this point. And the 30s are the best. I don't care what nobody say. Like, them 20s is trash. I love my 30s. The 20s were not it for me. And I just feel like, and I want to speak to those students too. Like, don't get it twisted. I cried. Yeah. I've cried. I've had frustrating moments. I've had moments where I've been angry. Like, It don't look like it, but you know, I'm a true Gemini. You know, it's moments of like, ooh, yay, and then it's moments of like, man, why me? I've had real conversations with God. You know, where I've been like, yo, this is too much.
Yeah.
And I don't get why you're putting me through this, God. And it's okay. I want to always say that too. It's okay to question God, but not to question God in a sense of like, you know, what is it like? I don't know, like being too much with it, but like I've asked God, like, yo, I'm a good person. I don't get why I'm doing all these things right, and I'm following you, and I'm praying, and I'm going to church, and da, da, da. I mean, I would go down the list and be like, and God, yet I'm struggling like this. You know, I've had real moments like that with God, and that is okay. I want people and young kids to know that that's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay
normal.
that you can't. Yeah, it's okay that you might not be able to tithe or do these things like you want to, because it's hard. Life gets hard, and it's okay to feel those feels, but what it is like, I always tell my mom, I just need that one day. Like, I need that one day where I just let it all out, and the next day I'll be good. But just give me that one day. But whatever it is, just know you'll get through it. Continue to pray about it. The stronger you lean on God and talk to God, I promise you that my God,
yes,
He know me, because I talk to him like, okay. Or I say in praise too. Always praise God in those moments for keeping you. Always give him the praise. And I promise you life will be a little bit better. It's not going to be easier. It'll just be better for you to live through it.
Yes, and you learn how to flow at that point. Once you give it over and surrender, you flow. It's still hard. It's still hard, but you flow. But
yes.
Well, ma'am, I just want to thank you so much for coming on. Like, I feel like we're kindred spirits, to be honest.
We are.
We are.
We are.
But
we gonna hang out again soon.
We will. We definitely will. But I really do appreciate you coming on. I'm glad that you're continuing to show your light or share your light with people, because it's good, and people are gonna learn a lot from you. God is definitely using you. So you keep doing it. And go ahead and do your plug real quick one more time. How can they follow you? Yeah, do all that real quick.
All right, y'all. You know, I'm sure she's gonna put it in the notes. You know,
yes,
spell it, so I ain't gonna spell it. But you can follow me on Instagram at Frobulous_Veggies. Got the shirt. You can follow my YouTube. It's just Frobulous Veggies, where I post on Tuesdays, every Tuesday for Test Tuesday, and sometimes I drop the little recipes for Meatless Monday. And please follow me, talk to me. I love interacting with people, and I'm excited. And get my cookbook, y'all. Cooking Up Fresh Greens on the Daily on Amazon. Yes,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, you have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.